I know The Hobbit is an older game, but I decided to review it anyway. This is one of my favorite 3D platformers. The controls, music, fighting system, items, cinematics, and graphics are very good for its time. The graphics are fine, there's some limited character animation, some amazing landscapes, and some nice explosions. Some things bothered me about how the graphics were drawn on the screen, but overall they were fun to look at. There's not much else to say. It's something you'd expect, nothing more, nothing less. The music is amazing, from the first level to the last. There's a nice soundtrack throughout the whole game that I really like, and it's not too annoying played over and over again, really. The music changes perfectly to what you're doing. If you're about to fight a boss, the music will become very intense. If you're getting apples in the Shire, you'll hear a nice fiddle tune. There's also some brilliant voice acting, but it's a shame the voice acting is more animated than the characters look when they talk. And my favorite feature is that music and sound effects can be turned to any desired volume in the options. The gameplay may be a little childish for some more mature gamers, but I don't really care about blood or gore. It has a great fighting system, with different moves you get as you advance further and collect scrolls. You'll find about one scroll in every level. You can also throw rocks in addition to using the staff and sword. Some levels have bosses that vary in difficulty. The game also has a nice sneaking aspect, where you can run around and try not to get seen by enemies. You'll start to see many concepts appear over and over again, so it can get really boring. What I love doing in The Hobbit is seeing where I can get using the cheap long jump. Not only does it let you jump across distant platforms, but it also propels you up a hill. The long jump was programmed to be way too long, so you can finish levels faster than they were meant to be finished. Also, when you jump off something and get close to something else, sometimes you'll grab onto its edge. But as with most games that come with this feature, it was made to be way too lenient. You can get to areas that clearly weren't meant to be reached, and use this to your advantage. But my major complaint has been driving me insane since I first played this game. When you save at a pedestal, the save takes a short time, and you can save over and over with no penalty. If you want to collect a few coins ahead of the pedestal and come back to it, you can save again so you don't have to get the same coins when you die. This all works flawlessly, but here's where they totally screwed up in programming this game. Rather than having the option to create different files to load, all saves are stored in one big folder, with no option to give them a name or anything. All you see is a date and a level. So for instance, if me, my friend, and my brother each have files, we're all playing this game on one computer, it can get pretty complicated. So, I want to save my game, but I have 3 files on the screen and I don't know which one to choose. They all look the same and all they have is levels, so I guess I'll select this one. Oops, I accidentally saved my brother's file. Now he has to start all over again, and there's no backup files. No, that would be way too easy. So, saving is the last word I would use to describe this nightmare. The replay in this game is extremely lacking. There are no customization options. Every player follows the same main path from beginning to end. Upon beating the game, all you can do is play through the last saved point. To me, this game sounds like more of a demo. You can play through and load everything with ease, but there's nothing to bring you back. You get the point. So overall, it's a fun game, but it should be rented or bought cheap and used. I thought the landscaping and character models were pretty good for the game's time. The only annoying thing is how much sparkle effect there is when you kill something. It virtually fills up the entire screen, and it actually brought down the frame rate on my computer. So, they did a pretty bad job with that. 8 out of 10. The musical soundtrack was great, and there were some nice sound effects and voice acting. 9 out of 10 because some of the levels were void of music. The gameplay was a thrill while it lasted, but sometimes the same concepts were used over and over and it got a bit repetitive. Also, the saving system is terrible, and it was a tad too easy. There was virtually no replay value in this game whatsoever, unless you wanted to replay it just for fun. I guess trying to get the minimum things, or trying to get perfect scoring, would bring the game up to at least a 2 out of 10. But it's a shame, this was such a fun game, and there wasn't even a harder mode to choose when you beat it. If they had added a harder mode, I would have at least given the replay a 5, but oh well. Well, this concludes my third review, leaving The Hobbit a 26 out of 40. This game just feels unfinished. If anyone was wondering why I took off replay for my Team Fortress 2 review, it's because that game was online and it was meant to be replayed. This game, however, is a single-player game, and it should be scored hardly on its replay value.